Hey, what's happening? This is your host Tinto, and before we get started on this weekend's episode, I thought to give a shout out to everybody that got me coffees, starting with you, Lindiwe D. So I thought this was a Lindiwe that I went to school with, but then when I saw the details, it's somebody completely different. So a pleasant surprise. Thank you so much for the generous coffees that you gave. They've gone a long way in making the podcast grow. And then next up, I want to give a shout out to somebody who managed to remain anonymous in the true sense of anonymous. I got no clue who you are. Thank you so much for the generous gift. And then Ropawe Afro, you've given me incredible support, not only from listening to the podcast, not only from retweeting and engaging on Twitter and all social media, but now you've done so financially. So, hey, this is a really big shout out to you. Thank you so much for your continued support. And then last but not least, we have Takudzwa Wilfred. Thank you so much for the generous gift. It's the first notification I read this morning, so you are the reason why my Friday is super duper dope. If you'd like to do the same and support the podcast, head on to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there is nothing that is too small to make the podcast that you've grown to love continue to grow and continue to exist. With that out of the way, let's jump into this weekend's episode.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here on the Feeling Station.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, not a lot.
My
How you
goodness,
doing?
that is so much better than the first ring that I gave you a couple of seconds ago.
I'm glad.
Welcome to the Feeling Station.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Apprehensive, nervous, but
apprehensive,
okay.
Really? I get nervous, but apprehensive, really?
I'm not quite sure how I'm feeling right now.
Nah, we'll sort that out soon. For those who are listening to this podcast for the first time, it touches on breakup stories that people would like to talk about with the view to give you, the listener, lessons that you can pick up from my guest story. And the podcast is doing great for two main reasons. The first being I do my best to keep my guest anonymous, which brings me to the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
The bit where I give you the name you are going to use for the duration of the episode. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this part.
So I've gone to the north of Africa, and I'm giving you a name from Egypt, right? And your name is Halima, which is Halima. Halima.
I better write this down so I don't forget.
I think you should. That's not a bad idea. Right?
Okay.
So that's Halima.
I quite like this. I like the sound of that. What does it mean?
Right. So it means gentle, mild-mannered, and generous. Why the chuckle?
Oh, that's how I think I am. But
Oh, really?
I've been told otherwise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had a couple of conversations, and I think I can generally resonate with the mild-mannered bit.
Oh, good.
You
All
come
so
across
good.
as that kind of person. So I think this is a fair representation of who you really are as a person.
Yeah, thank you. I like that.
Cool. And then the second reason why the podcast is doing great is that there are real life lessons that people share about the breakup story they talk about. But before we get into that element, I just want you to give me the name of the person you're going to talk about. What are you calling them?
All right. So this was a mind boggler, but I've settled with 2 chains.
Two chains, yeah? Wow. Okay, let's just talk about your preference for music. Do you like hip hop? Are you into trap music?
Well, I like all kinds of music.
Yeah?
I do like hip hop.
Okay.
I problem is I can't rap.
Okay, so is calling this guy 2 Chainz your aspirations of getting into the rap game or something? Because I'm trying to figure out how you. I mean, I like 2 Chainz as the hip hop artist. He's great.
Yeah.
But how did you end up on 2
the
Chainz?
bling.
Oh,
It's
it's the bling, yeah. Okay, so the guy.
Like bling.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so this story is about Halima and 2 Chainz. This is so dope. It already sounds like a track.
Oh, I'm telling you, when I look at it now, Halima, mild-mannered, and 2 Chainz, we are like on opposite spectrums.
This is going to be really interesting. Now
I hope so. We'll see.
on to the second bit that's making the podcast really popular, the lessons. What would you like people to learn from the story you're going to share today?
All right. Well, I don't think I'm going to share anything new because
Okay.
anyone who listens to the healing station, I think most lessons, some of them repeated, are
Yeah.
generally the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just going to echo maybe uh, in a different speak. So my first one would be if it looks like a duck,
Mm-hmm.
quacks like a duck,
Mm-hmm.
walks like a duck, it is a duck.
Oh, that is hilarious. So if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is a duck.
It is a duck. Don't think you're seeing a swan.
Okay, cool. I like that. That's lesson number one. Have you got more
Yeah.
lessons?
Just one more.
Uh-huh.
Do not tolerate nonsense.
Well,
Yeah.
that's that could be up for debate. The definition of nonsense for people is very, very different. So I'd like to understand what your definition of nonsense is, and I think I'll pick it up in the story, right?
Yeah, you will.
Okay.
But I was just thinking sometimes in our minds we know what we won't accept
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what we won't tolerate.
Yeah.
But in reality, putting your foot down can be difficult
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to those situations when
Yeah.
there arises. It can be difficult to say, actually, no thanks. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing to think it, it's another thing to do it.
Okay, right. I totally get that. So just to play back the two lessons, lesson number one, if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, walks like a duck, it is a duck. And lesson number two, don't tolerate nonsense.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Perfect. Let's get into the story then. So where did you meet Two Chains and why? What got you feeling like, yeah, this is the guy I want to be with?
Well, that's a funny thing. I never felt that. Well, to begin with. So
Oh,
we met.
we got a problem before you even got started.
Well, he kind of grew on me, but I'll tell you how it happened.
Yeah.
We met at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
His relative was getting married to a friend of mine, so we met for the first time at the wedding.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely wedding in a little village somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just a lovely, lovely, intimate occasion where people, I mean, there were two cultures coming together and turned up in my hat, looking the part and all sorts, picture four weddings and a funeral sort of thing.
Okay,
But,
right. Got it.
But with Africa involved.
Okay, nice.
And as you can tell, I'm in the diaspora, so I am quite starved of, my fellow mankind.
Yeah.
I turn up to this wedding and brothers were looking fine,
Yep, okay.
suited and booted, all polished up, looking nice. So it was just a lovely atmosphere.
Yep.
And he was there, and yeah, so we were all just there mingling and all sorts. The service happened. We had a little drinks in the garden, and it was just like a group of brothers chatting, laughing, and so on. And he was there, and he stood up because while everyone is suited and booted, dude was wearing a suit and trainers,
Oh.
White trainers at that.
Okay.
But I'm going to put it down to fashion sense, and I didn't want to think he couldn't get shoes.
Flag number one there. How does someone turn up to a wedding in trainers?
I don't know. Maybe, the 2 Chains thing happening there because he also, in addition, he had like a big Belcher gold chain.
Okay. So this is the picture that I have in my head. I don't know what color suit it was. Right?
Gray.
Okay, so he had a gray suit. I'm assuming he didn't even have a proper shirt on. Did he have a t-shirt?
No, he had, no. You're right. He had a t-shirt and a Belcher chain and trainers.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. Because the moment you mentioned the chain and the trainers, it just made sense that that's possibly going to be supported by a t-shirt. So
it did, yeah.
I get the whole thing about being smart casual, but there's also a thing about being dressed appropriately for the occasion.
Indeed.
If this was like an after party after the wedding, that kind of swag makes a lot of sense because you don't want to look overdressed, but you still want to kind of look dapper and cool.
Absolutely.
So already this guy is not really fitting the part from the onset.
No,
I'm
no,
getting
which is
vibes that
why
this guy thinks he's got a mind of his own and does as he wants and he pleases.
absolutely.
Oh
You got him down to a
snap!
T.
Okay.
That's exactly. But obviously that
Mm,
didn't appeal, But
mm-hmm.
then I'm not there for him, I'm there for my friend. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I had no idea this was going to be happening.
yeah.
But as the night goes on, we dance, we do all sorts. I had a dance with him, quite decent,
Oh,
dance with other
okay.
people,
Okay,
quite decent.
I like how you just ran through that quite quickly. How did he get to the point where he asked you for a dance and you said yes? Did he randomly walk up to you and say, "Would you like to dance?"
Well, I was dancing with somebody else, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you all know each other, sometimes you'll dance as a group. Next thing, the dude is next to me, and I've
Mm-hmm.
been cornered, and I'm just dancing with him now. But it's like he's cut me out. He's like,
Okay.
"Well, you're not going anywhere. You stay there. We're going
Okay.
to
Okay.
we're going
Okay.
to two-step this together." But
Okay.
you don't create a scene. It's just that sort of environment, that
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere where everyone is partying with everybody. It was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that so much. But by doing that, it kind of made it known to me that, oh, yes,
He's feeling
I
you.
picked his in. Yeah, he was feeling me.
Yeah. Yeah.
and, and who could blame him? I was looking fine.
Hey, come on, gal.
I'm messing. It was good. I
Uh-huh.
made an effort. Let's just say I
Uh-huh.
made an
Uh-huh.
effort. But there was also other guys, who seemed to be checking me out and stuff, and it was really flattering,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when people are kind of like appreciating you. Let me
Yeah.
just say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, at the end of the evening, it wasn't really the end. I got tired. Because it was so far away, and this wedding thing was more of a weekend affair. Um, so we had booked accommodation nearby to stay, because the following day there was going to be a barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
a good like a brunch, for post wedding brunch, to say hello to the happy couple and wish them well before we parted.
Yeah.
So I left. I left early. As I was leaving, he came to walk me to the place where I was staying, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, thank you, that's very sweet of you. And as he dropped me off, or rather was about to go back, he asked for my number, like straight up, could I have your number?
Mm.
Which I thought, that's really refreshing, because I haven't had that, someone coming straight up to say, could I have your number? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's quite nerve wracking. But then I thought, why am I going to give this guy my number? I really
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
be giving him the wrong impression. So I don't know why it turned out, but I turned it into a game. I said, no, I'm not going to give you my number. But if you're really interested, you
Mm-hmm.
will find out what my number is.
Wow. Do
Bear in
you?
mind, the only person I knew at that wedding was the couple that were getting married. The only people I
Okay.
knew. Yeah, so no one else knew me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You see, so here's
Hmm.
a tiny question for you.
Uh-huh.
Were you doing this because you were not feeling him, you're not interested in, or you felt you could be interested but wanted to see how serious he was?
Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay.
I I think there was nothing else going on in my life at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
hey, why not? So if he's really into this, if he's really into me, he'll find my number.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's okay. It's
Okay.
good. So
Nice.
left it at that. I thought I would see him at the brunch the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I turned up at the brunch. People are more relaxed now. They're not so suited and booted. People,
Mm-hmm.
a bit tired, some hungover and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady talking to me. She was very pleasant. We had a chat. And remember, I told you the night before there was a guy who seemed very interested as well,
Yeah.
kept making eye contact and all that.
Yeah.
He was there. And I'm chatting to this lady, and then she kept referring to her husband. Oh, yes, and then my husband did that. So I said, where is your husband? And she points out to the dude.
Wait
And
a
I'm like,
minute.
okay,
Is
yeah.
is is the dude she points out 2 Chains?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's the other guy that I thought, oh, he's nice,
Oh, Shem.
Yeah, and I'm like, game over.
Ah,
2 Chainz got this
well,
one.
I guess it also explains why the guy was giving you the looks hadn't made a move on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I'm kind of glad I talked to the lady, because
Mm.
about 3 days after the wedding, the groom called me and said, "Do you remember my friend? You know that one? Yes, the married one.
Yeah.
He's asking for your number."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
dodgy guy.
"No, no, I don't
Dodgy
play like
guy.
that."
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And anyway,
And
that's a different
you know,
set.
funny enough, for the groom to actually say something like that, that's a bit telling about him too.
Well, when I said to him, "No, I don't play like," it goes, "I'm really relieved because it put me in an awkward position. He's really insisted that I call. I don't feel comfortable making this call, but you've made this so much easier for me."
Nah, do you
That's
know
what he
what?
said.
Yeah, that's what he says, but I'm not taking that from that guy. He's showing some
No,
incredible signs of weakness.
you reckon?
Yeah, how can you be given so much pressure by a married man,
Yeah.
to get the number of a single woman, and you're a guy who's just getting married yourself?
Yeah, I did think it was
Yeah, it's
strange.
very strange. So for starters, for the guy, the married guy, to say to a guy who just got married, "Hey, I want to do something dodgy with this single person. Can you be the connect?"
Hmm.
For them to be able to
Hmm.
talk on that level, to me, says that they know each other's game.
Probably.
And
Probably.
he will probably feel comfortable to reach out to him. This is the newly wedded guy. If he wanted to do something
Hmm.
dodgy, and the married guy knows the person, they should probably feel okay with each other saying that kind of thing.
Hmm.
That's a
Uh, I
huge
don't
red
know.
flag between those two brothers.
Well, what I kind of thought is that because you'd been giving me the eye, and I've been checking him out too. He probably went and said we were vibing with that chick last night. He might have said that, and he thought maybe I was on board.
Ah,
If
well,
him,
yeah, I
but
guess.
even then, I
You
still,
know, the groom should
yes,
have said, "Bro, you're a married guy. Just leave it." Full
you
stop.
should have.
Yeah, if he does that, it really shows substance in him and confidence that what
Hmm.
he has just walked into, he's serious about, and he's setting the example for his friend to follow.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, well, yeah, it is what it
I
is,
wonder
though,
if
right?
they're still married.
Well, good
Yeah.
question. I'm wondering that very same question. And if they're not married, I wonder if the reason is a wandering eye on his part.
Possibly.
Mm, well,
I wonder.
well,
But my friend's still married. You'll be pleased to know.
yeah. Okay, nice. That's very good. Right. So yeah. So he
uh,
says this guy's asking for your number, and then you're like, "No, I don't mess like that." And then what happened?
no, that kind of gave me a sort of green light to say, well, we'll see what Two Chains
Is
does.
about, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and and yeah, to be honest, because he wasn't at this brunch, I kind of thought, well, you'll either call or you won't. Either way, nothing lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. I wasn't hung up
Yeah.
on the idea anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But about 3 days, 4 days later, he messaged me on Facebook.
Oh, he
And
found
yeah,
you?
he found me on Facebook. Well, he
Interesting.
he knew my name, and I don't know. His cousin, the dude who got married, we were Facebook friends. It can't be that hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he found me. He's messaged me. I didn't respond in a rush. No,
Mm-hmm.
I took my time. I took about a week. I said, "Oh, hi, nice to hear from you. Hope you're well. Hope you got home safe." And then he comments, "Oh, you really like to keep a dude waiting, huh?"
Well, you better get used to the chase, bro. This is how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he wasn't impressed that I kept him waiting, and I'm like,
Mm,
"Well, here I am.
mm,
What do you want to talk about? What you want to do?"
mm.
So he says, "Oh, so maybe we could meet up." I'm like, "Sure," but we were in different cities.
Mm.
He lived quite a drive from where I was, at least 2 hours.
Wow.
So the weekend came. He came over, um, and we hung out.
Mm-hmm.
That was all right. He stayed for the evening and he left, and yeah, I was okay. But so when he turned up,
Where did he
he
stay,
had
by the way?
he didn't he didn't stay overnight. He left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came to my house, and I made dinner. We ate, and now this is where my guard started coming down
Let's
because I
hold up
oh,
a sec. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about that for a little bit. So this guy visits
okay.
from 2 hours away, comes
Yes,
over.
on this
You
Saturday
on
afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. Now, where was he coming to? Was he coming to a restaurant, or he was coming straight to your house?
Oh, he came to my house.
Now, how trusting is that of a stranger, though?
Well, I don't know. It
I
was a
think,
bit reckless on my part, I suppose.
well, I wouldn't call it reckless, but it's extremely trusting. This you don't know this guy from Adam.
I know him from a wedding.
Well, yeah, just a wedding.
He's
And
related to my friend.
okay,
Yeah. Well,
okay,
my friend who got married,
okay.
they are related.
So for you, that was enough to say, okay, this guy. I mean, if something does happen, I've got one person in common I can talk to say, okay, your relative did this. Is that correct?
Possibly.
Okay, fine.
Possibly, but I'm not one to open up to people I
Yeah,
know like that.
yeah. I mean,
About things
that.
like that.
Yeah. That's how I know you. That's why I'm kind of surprised that it was so
I know.
easy, for him to come into your space. And bear in mind, he wasn't really on your radar that much.
No,
You've
not
kind
at
of given him
all.
a bit of a goose chase, that he needs to come strong. I would have expected your guys' first rendezvous point to be a restaurant outside of the house.
Well, I'm kind of glad it wasn't because I right. This is really going to paint a picture about the person I am or was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be seen in public with this guy.
Reason being?
He turned up with his bling and grills.
Okay, so I think one thing is very clear already. You have a problem with the way the guy presents himself.
I did, and
you
I'm quite conservative, and this guy is like all out, yay, loud, and
yeah.
Oh god.
So okay, so you noticed that from day one, right at the wedding,
Yeah,
Blingy
yes.
brother, and this is happening again, Blingy brother. And this is not really your cup of tea, but you said
no.
So you guys hung around. You said he came on the. Did you say Saturday?
You came Saturday afternoon.
It came Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then when did he head back?
Oh, Saturday about 10 o'clock.
Okay, Saturday evening he headed back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By that point, did you decide nah? Because already he's too out there for you, isn't he?
Well, physically looking at him, aesthetically looking at him, he was up there. Because my work was in the corporate world. And when it turned up like that, I was like, there's no way I can take him to a work function. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was pretty bad, But I mean, he was wearing a t-shirt that was super loud and colorful, and the bling and then the grills, and I'm like, what?
Wow. Yo, when you say grills, are we talking about the like proper grills? What color was grills? Like gold ones?
Yes. Thankfully, they were removable because he was not wearing those at the wedding.
Wow.
Whether he thought that would win me over, I don't know. But of course, the first thing I was like, what are those braces? What are those? And then he clicks him out and says, oh, these are grills. I said, well, is that what you call them?
Wow.
So we had a conversation about that. Anyway, I cooked, we sat, we ate. I mean, he helped cooking and everything. But the thing about the dude was funny. He had jokes. And who doesn't want a good laugh?
Yeah, exactly.
The way he told the story, the way he spoke of an experience, the way he imitated his dad, kind of thing. He was just a funny guy. And I suppose that's what it was, the humor. He came with a lot of humor. So there was not a dull moment when he was around. The way he delivered something that happened and so on. But it was good fun. I love to laugh. And I laughed a lot. If that I will not take away from him.
Right.
But so we started seeing each other every weekend.
Oh.
And so the following weekend he came, and then the third weekend he came, and then then one day he called and he said, I could come over tonight on a Tuesday. And I'm like, it's a bit of a long drive. He says, I don't mind. I've got a late start the next day. And he came, that was pretty cool. So yeah, we started seeing each other that way. And yes, it was fun, but it was always at my place. Because I didn't want to be seen in public with the dude.
Wow.
Because he was still out there, So, man,
I
and
almost don't know what to say about that
I sound
because
like a snob, don't I?
no, you don't, because you know this. It's really strange saying this because I think it was on Monday that I saw on somebody's story a little post that said, if he's shy to be with you in public, he's not that into you,
Yeah, well,
right?
yes,
And for you, you definitely didn't want to be seen in public with him. S-
no,
So you weren't
no.
that into him?
He
Is
grew on me. Let's just say that he
he,
was growing on me.
yeah, that's what I thought could have been happening. So if he's growing on you, then then the discomfort of being outdoors with him should have been shrinking. I would have
It
thought.
was because yes, because not long after that,
Mm-hmm.
we went out to see a friend of mine. So
Mm-hmm.
started meeting my friends, and my friend did say to me, "Whew, he's out there, isn't he?" And I
Right.
said, "I know." And she
Yeah.
says, "But I can see you were smiling. You seem to be happy, so he
Okay.
must be doing something right."
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I do feel good around the guy, but
Mm.
yes, I do recognize that this is not, my forever
Yeah.
because." But
So,
having said that,
do you know, having said that, I just knew this wasn't my forever, dude. So at the back of your mind, you knew this was gonna end.
yeah. Also, I should have mentioned is that he was a bit younger than me.
So
I know it's not usually an issue, is it? But
no.
well,
So
yeah.
so so why are you making it an issue? What's
No,
going
I
on
think
there?
it's I don't know because you know people tend to say that women mature much earlier than men. So I
Okay.
think my life was a bit more together and
Right.
and quite established. I had my own house and I lived by myself, whereas he was in a flat share situation
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Maybe he was
And
saving up so that he could buy a house, and then you guys would be on the same page too. You both have houses.
possibly, but he was. Oh, the two chains and the grills and everything. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just a fashion sense
Mm.
alone. I think he was very much into hip hop because he did mention to me
Mm-hmm.
a few times that he was into songwriting and that he had sold a couple of songs in the past.
Wow. Okay.
Um, so I said, "Did you? Is it something I might know?" I didn't know. I didn't recognize any of the
Mm-hmm.
music, but then
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm not really into hip hop that much. He even did some stuff for me. He wrote some lyrics, played
Nice.
some tunes, and then and then would rap to it himself.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, it was nice. He seemed very very talented in that regard. But
I'll tell you a bit of a feeling that I'm getting here.
mhm.
It almost seems like you're all too conscious about certain things. For instance, one, the age thing, and two, the two being out there, the two chains, and blah 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 blah, which are all things that I think can be overlooked by the fact that you are such great company.
Yes, and I did. I
Oh,
overlooked it
okay.
because I kept him in the picture for quite a while.
How long is a
He was
while?
there a few months.
Okay.
4 6 months.
Nice.
We're dating each other for about 4 6.
Nice.
But
Nice.
we started venturing out now.
Mm-hmm. Into the wild, it seems.
Yeah, into the world and into public.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
one of my all-time favorite artists is Maxwell.
Yeah. Oh, great
Love
guy.
Maxwell,
Great guy.
and I absolutely love live music.
Mm-hmm.
I will, if it's an artist I like, I will do what I need to do to go and see them if I can.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they're in my area.
Oh, yeah.
And Maxwell came to my city, and
Ooh.
I was like, "There's no way I am not going to go to see Maxwell."
Which
And he said,
but which of his songs, out of curiosity, is your favorite from him?
"Ooh, no, I'm not going to sing."
Which one?
I'll do like something something,
Is it
and I do
Ascension?
like till the cups extension. That's right,
You
and
like that
till the
one?
cups come knocking.
Okay.
Till the cups come
Uh huh.
knocking. You know that one?
Oh, yes, I do.
I was gonna have to leave a message on the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
telephone.
Yeah, oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, love it.
This would
Love
have
it.
been more
There's
interesting if you actually sang that, you know.
it would, right? I know. I am a terrible singer. I cannot hold a tune.
Okay.
I cannot do it.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I love Maxwell. And
Mm-hmm.
when I found out that Maxwell was coming, I said, I've got to go and see Maxwell. And he said, don't worry, I'm going to get the tickets.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, we're going to Maxwell. And I said, did you get the tickets? He says, no, not yet, but I'm going to get the tickets. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, dude, it's going to sell out. Have you got the tickets? Yeah, I'm getting the tickets. You know, did you get the tickets? Yeah, I'm going to get them. No,
Oh,
not yet, but I'm going to.
no. Oh,
And I
no.
was like panicking. So, right, the dude said he was going to get a ticket. And I'm like, right, what do I
Yeah.
do here?
Yeah.
So I went and I got a ticket anyway
Oh.
on the down low.
Because you didn't
Just
trust he
in
was going to
case.
do it, right? Yeah.
Well, I was worried the event was going to sell out. And I mean, if it's your favorite artist coming to town, how many opportunities are you going to get?
Well, here's the question. How many tickets did you buy, Halima?
I bought 2.
Oh, thank God you said 2, because I was going to have a go at you if you just got that one ticket.
I did want to buy one and just say, look, you didn't buy, I'm going. See ya.
Okay, so you got 2 tickets.
So I got 2 tickets,
Yeah.
but I didn't say.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
then he called and he says, oh yeah, I finally got the tickets.
Well, now
Yeah.
you have to do something with your tickets.
Yes. So my friend, the one we went to see,
Yes.
I offered them to her. She bought them off me.
Okay, perfect.
Right. So
Yeah.
I didn't mention to him that I had the ticket.
Yeah.
The ticket. Anyway, day of the concert comes, and because Maxwell, I mean, he's big and all that, but we're in the country where I live, he's not that big, so he's not going to. Well, later on, he did start doing big arenas, but that time he was only doing smaller venues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a theater place, this place where he was performing.
Mm-hmm.
So we get there, we go to Maxwell. And I'm like, okay, are we standing? No, we're not standing. All right, so you walk. Are we in the stalls? No, we're not in the stalls. And we kept going up, and we were with the gods, you know.
Hey!
We're like, the stage is down.
Wow!
You know, and we were right at the top, and we were standing at the top. Oh my God, I had the worst seats.
Oh my God!
And my friend, the tickets I got, she was in a good seat.
No
and I'm like,
way!
This is horrible.
Oh, pants.
Oh man, I was gutted.
Yeah.
But at least I was in the same room as Maxwell. He did.
I like the way you say we were in heaven.
You know, if you go
That's
to an
funny.
opera,
Yeah.
that's what they call, you know, the
Yeah.
cheap seats up. They called with the gods.
With the gods. That's jokes.
Way up there.
Mhm.
Anyway, the concert was good. It was great, you know. And yeah, it was fun. Really, really loved it. And he enjoyed it too. He said, I didn't think I liked Maxwell this much. You know, he's not bad. And I'm like, 2 Chainz, stick around. I'll show you things you didn't even know you liked.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a great night. We enjoyed that very much, despite the seats not being the greatest, but it was all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now, bear in mind, all this is happening, and the dude is just coming to me all the time. So I said, you know, it's not fair that you're always having to make this long drive for the weekend. He says, I don't mind. I said, no, let me come
your way, yeah.
You come your way, spend time in your space, and so on. Because he always used to, talk about his female friend. And I was like, is she your girlfriend, or did you guys date in the past? What sort of thing is this? No, we're just friends. Oh, cool. But I don't know, something didn't sit right with me, and I just wanted to be in this space to get a good feel. For all you know, I mean, you could be married. You could be living with someone, you know.
True.
So I thought, for my own peace of mind, let me just make sure, you know, dude lives where he says he lives and how he says he lives. So he agreed, and one Friday I drove up. I went to see him, and I mentioned before he's in a flat share, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was not a pleasant place to be in. It
Really?
was filthy.
Was it just a
Oh my
flat share
God.
with all guys?
It was just with one other guy,
Oh,
and this other guy had a girlfriend. It was like a two-bed flat with a living room, a bathroom, and a kitchen.
yeah.
But it was dirty. My God.
Jeez.
The- I could not use the toilet without, I had to just hover. Because
It was that bad?
it was that bad. I mean, I am a bit OCD when it comes to hygiene. Yes,
Yeah.
I know I'm out there, but it was beyond acceptable. It
Mm.
was just terrible, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get comfortable. So Saturday morning, I said, look, if you want me to stay for the weekend, there is no way I can stay in this. So why don't I help you clean it up?
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I don't want us to do that. I said, yeah, but then we have to go somewhere else, back to
Yeah.
my place or something, but I can't stay here.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
fine. So we went to the store to buy like cleaning detergents and stuff. There was leftover food in the fridge that had been long eaten by mold, grown hair, and it was just like,
Oh man.
the sort of things you would find in, those hell homes and that's
So I'm
exactly what it
guessing
was.
it's one of those homes where if you the moment you open the door when you walk in, you're hit by a bit of a funky smell. Like it wasn't a fresh smell in the house.
No, and there's crunch on the floor, and
Aish.
oh
Oh,
man, and then there was
that's nasty,
a
man.
shower. So yeah, so like this is
And
yeah.
and how was the shower curtain? Did it have like
Oh,
okay, right.
mold
I
and
okay. I think that's enough.
yeah,
I think I get the picture of
yeah.
what it
It
looked
was
like.
not
Oh
good.
no, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. No, that's
so
terrible.
we bought rubber gloves.
Yeah, yeah.
We bought several pairs of rubber gloves, a new shower curtain, and lots of scourers and sponges and detergents and so on.
Mm.
And basically, just spent the Saturday cleaning
Cleaning up, yeah.
because I said if I'm going to hang out with you, you can't live like this.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
we did it together. Place was nice and clean, and he was like, "This is actually pretty good."
Surprise, surprise, dude.
And all the time we were doing all this cleaning, his roommate's girlfriend was just sitting in the lounge reading.
That is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we finished cleaning and then we went in, we got some food and we ate out of clean plates,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
that was all right. But I still didn't feel comfortable spending the night there because the bed squeaked a hell of a lot. Like, no, 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 no.
Had you at least tried changing the sheets?
Oh yeah, they were changed. There were new sheets on, so that
Yeah.
was something. But it was like a squeak, 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 squeak. I was
The
like,
item was squeaky.
too loud. I'm like, and you don't live there. If
Ah,
you lived alone, it would have been something. But
this
no,
is hilarious.
no, you ain't getting no action. No. It's one thing
Yeah.
people suspecting you're doing
Yeah,
something,
and
but
then
it's another thing
when
to
it's
know for
obvious you're
sure.
doing something.
And nope,
that is
nope.
funny. That is funny.
I was like, first and last, we're not coming back here again, that's for sure. And he's like, that's okay with me.
Oh man. Okay.
So I realized it was then I was realizing why weekends with me were more pleasant than in his own room.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so time goes by, and then Christmas comes. We're still vibing. Everything is still great. And when Christmas was coming out, every not actual Christmas Day, but towards Christmas.
Did you know I'm sorry to laugh, right? But I've just thought about something.
Uh-huh.
There's a song by Wale called Bad. It
Right.
features Tiara Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear it playing in the background?
No.
You can't. Okay, well, I'll try and see if I can look at it, right? And the song
Yeah.
is got a little squeaky sound along. It doesn't. It just made me think about what would have been happening. I'll try
Do
and
you
find
think
it
they
and
recorded it on a squeaky mattress?
yeah, you see, you made me think about 2 Chainz and you and said, all you guys don't know is this guy was under the bed with a microphone capturing a sample that is used on this track.
It's possible. It could have been the very same bed as well.
I'll look for it and add it to the episode.
Get it? Bad girls ain't no good, and the good girls ain't no fun. And the hood girls want a smart nigga. College girls all want a thug, so it seems that we.
Okay,
That's
so
fun.
so you then decide that okay, nah, this ain't happening. We're not
No.
coming back this way. Okay.
No, no. Just
Mm,
not hygienic.
okay.
So anyway, we fast forward to like our first sort of Christmas. Now, over the years, my friends and I, in my friends circle, two of us are December babies. So we used to go to this themed night every year, just a few days before Christmas,
Yeah.
and it became a thing. So we really enjoyed it, and each time we went, we always saw like familiar faces of people who used to come to the same thing as well.
Yeah.
So I invited him along to that. So now he's meeting my wider circle of friends.
Mm.
But by now, the grills have gone.
Oh.
The bright, blinging clothes are making less of an appearance. He's now slowly changing his dress sense.
And this is all happening of his own accord?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. He kept saying,
interesting.
he actually used to say, it's not so bad dressing my age. It's not
Interesting.
so bad dressing like this because I actually look a bit more classier, and he used to like finish off the look with like a flat cap, like a woolen, those Kangol caps.
Yeah.
Remember those Kangol?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looked pretty, so he switched from the leather jackets and the loud t-shirts to like turtlenecks and a proper blazer sort of jacket kind of thing, and he looked fine. I thought he looked good but it was not my encouragement. I just used to joke and laugh at him make fun of him when he used to wear those things, the bling.
Did this make it easier for you to be seen in public with him?
I suppose it did.
Yeah, okay.
I'm feeling more confident now going to this themed Christmas night.
Yeah.
It was like a Caribbean themed night, so it's like Caribbean food with limbo dancers and all sorts. It's always a fun night from my previous experiences.
Yeah.
And so I rock up. So just to give you an idea of when this was around the time that Barack Obama had just been nominated as president.
Okay.
And the inauguration was coming up in January 2009. That's when it was, right? So I'm buzzing, everyone was buzzing, because the election of Barack Obama, I don't think only affected Americans. I think every black president kind of felt, oh my God, things are happening, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we were all buzzing and very excited about that. Anyway, I've got a friend who lives in DC, and I had just jokingly said to her, wouldn't it be fun if I could come over for the inauguration? And she said to me, you should. And it was playing on my mind.
Oh.
So now we go to this theme night. Now, this is not just, it's a theme. We dress up. Everybody is dressed up to the hilt. We are sparkling and glittering. We are... We're made up, everything. Nails are did, hair is did, you know what I mean? We're just looking the part. Men are in tuxes and black tie. It was just fancy all the way. Dude made an effort. He was looking really smart, very handsome.
Nice.
And we were all. So I drove because I am always happy to be Des the driver because I'm not a big drinker. So if it means we avoid cabs and I drive, I'm happy to do that. So I picked up my 3 girlfriends plus him. We went to the event, had a great time. Now I mentioned before that there are people we knew from previous years that we've been going. And
Mm.
there was a guy there who came to talk to me. Oh, nice to see you, and so on. Good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been talking to my other friends, and then he saw me, and we stopped and we chat. Because I know I don't really know him that well, but I was polite because last time I'd seen him, he'd come with his mom.
Yeah.
So I said, "How's your mom?" and so on, and he was talking about they were going to be going to Washington because his mom wanted to be there for the inauguration, and
Oh,
they
yeah,
had
yeah.
family in DC as well. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I'm actually toying with that idea. I think I might come.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not like a complete sit down because the situation, the setup is like a buffet and there's music and so on. So you can have food when you want to, you can dance when you want to, or you can go and watch something if you want to in this whole venue.
Mm-hmm.
But we're standing on the side and I'm chatting with him. And 2 Chainz sees me talking to this guy.
Mm.
And he comes walking past me and he nudges quite hard into my shoulder as he walks past.
Ooh.
And then he goes and he sort of like lurks in the shadows. And I look at him as if to say, "What's up?" But when he nudged me, I actually stumbled a bit. And this guy I was talking to stopped and sort of like looked to see what's going on.
Mm.
Why you thought he was a stranger. Then he
Mm.
walks back again and he says in my ear, "You're disrespecting me."
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And he walks off. And then this guy says, "Do you know him?" I said, "Yes, he's a friend of mine." And he says, "Oh, I don't think your friend is happy." And I said, "Oh,
Mm.
never mind. It's nice to see you again," and so on. But all this nudging and walking, my friends have seen it. They watched it
Mm.
happen. And I'm feeling,
A
I
bit
don't know,
embarrassed.
very embarrassed.
Yeah.
Should I be feeling embarrassed? I was thinking, I am really embarrassed, but I'm
Yeah.
also quite confused. And also, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, anyway, I stand there and then I'm like, "What's going on?" He says, "You're disrespecting me. Why are you talking to that guy?" I'm like, "Well, I can't talk to guys now." He says, "You're talking to that guy in front of me." I said, "Oh, should, should I talk to them
Wow.
behind you?" What you?
Exactly.
No, no.
Yeah.
So now I can see it's about to escalate because he's really like, yeah. I said, "Look, I'm not going to do this right now." And I walked away.
Mm.
And my friends are like, "Are you okay?" Are you right?" Now, I'm really embarrassed because
Now all
obviously I
attention
don't
is
want
on
him
you
to look
now, isn't
like,
it?
yes, but
Yeah.
you don't want him to look like a dick because you've just brought him to your friends for the first time and this
Mm.
is what he does. And oh man. But by now the embarrassment is gone, the confusion is gone, and all I'm just feeling is just anger. Who does he
Mm.
think he is to do that? Anyway, I calmed down. I decided I'm not going to do anything about this. So by then my mood has taken a dive. All the joy and excitement I'd been feeling all evening has just gone. We come to the end of the night, everyone is ready to leave, and because I'm the driver, I drop my friends off, all three of them, drop them off. Good night, everyone. Good night, lovely night, and so on. The
Mm.
moment the door shuts, that's when I let it loose. The hell was that about?
Yeah. Yeah.
now, you see, when I say do not tolerate nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
part of me wanted to just say, right, that's over. Let's just carry on with life. But then no, it was not going to settle. It just would not sit right with me, and I just blew up. I'm like, what was that? He's like, "You were disrespecting me." Also, the rest of the drive home, it was just a screaming and shouting match. And then eventually I calmed down and I said, "If I am going to cheat on you, I will, and you won't find out about it. I'm not going to
Wow.
do it in your face. So don't you think that you nudging me is going to actually stop me from doing a bad thing if that's what I wanted to do?
Yeah.
This sort of behavior does not actually change me from doing a bad thing if that's what I was going to do. Can you not just trust me to have a conversation with somebody and know that it's not going to end up with me sleeping with them? Why do you think that's going to happen? What reason did I ever give you to think that I would go and do something with someone else?"
Oh
I
wow.
just could not understand where
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
came from.
Yeah.
It really startled me, but the more I kept talking, so much just came out. I was like, if I'm going to cheat, you will not find out.
Mm.
Trust me, if I want to hide something from you, there is no way you will find out because you live 2 hours away. half the time I'm by myself without you. And
Exactly.
somehow you're thinking that tonight is the night I choose to do something to disrespect you.
Yeah,
No, no,
wrong.
no, no, you
Wrong
were
timing.
disrespecting me
Yeah,
in
yeah.
front of my friends. Do you not get that?
Mm.
Anyway, it carried on, and then but he just would not see where I was coming from, and then I don't know. It didn't even take me long, and then I said, "Look, you don't trust me. There's no trust in this relationship, and frankly, if there's no trust, there's nothing. You can't really build on anything. So we should just call it a day."
Yeah, that's true.
And he's like, "No, no, I'm falling in love with you." And a bit too late. You
Yeah,
can't fall in love with someone you don't trust.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't trust me, and I just put my foot down there and then. I said, "No, no, we're done." And I ended things just like that. But because he's on my Facebook and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
about 2 days later, he puts up on his Facebook, he's got a picture of with a girl, the one you always talked about being his friend and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his arm around and he's like, "Guys, if a girl keeps asking you for sex and you just can't satisfy her, is it your fault or is it hers? What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Is that meant for me or what?" But I realized that I've made the right decision because that did not even bother me. Seeing that post, I was okay. I was all right with it. I realized it was probably a dig at me, but yeah, it was. Yeah, nothing.
So, out of curiosity, this girl that he always
Hmm.
spoke about and said that it was his friend, was it actually really a friend?
And up to now, I still wonder.
Are you a bit suspicious of them still?
Well, you say still. Uh, I don't know. Because I didn't care. I didn't care. I think the fact that I didn't care spoke volumes of where we were as a couple. So
And
uh,
probably that's what bothered him the most, to the point where he felt he needed to put up a post like that.
possibly,
Did
and
did,
try
did
and
he
get a
have any?
reaction out of me.
Yeah, did he have any other photos with this woman later on at some point?
I stopped looking. I
Yo,
just stopped looking. I
talk.
just decided I don't need to
Do you know?
to look.
Do you know? Talk about cutting out someone from the onset. You really did not mess around with this guy one bit.
Well, you know how you always say, if you go looking for trouble, you will find it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So there was a high likelihood that I would find something that might bother me. So
If
I
you had
decided
gone
not
looking,
to look.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
did you know that's a
So
really wise move,
I
because
decided. Mm,
if he's going to be posting pictures looking so cozy like that and having a caption like that as well,
yeah.
was probably going
A
to lead you
week.
to, yeah. And now I think I
A
get,
week after we broke up.
yeah, and I think I also get the thing that you pointed towards when you're saying that, which is your first lesson. If it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and walks like a duck, it probably is a duck, right?
Yep.
And the way this guy was presenting himself a certain way, and with that whole nudging, and is proving to
Hmm.
be a bit disrespectful, he easily could have been an abuser of a sort in the physical form.
Well, you
Because,
say that.
uh,
You say years later,
mm-hmm,
and I'm talking our first lockdown.
mm-hmm,
I decided, because of the music thing, I thought maybe he did actually write something and he became big. I wonder, is he doing big things in music? Did he
mm-hmm,
sell a song?
mm-hmm.
I put his name on Google, and the picture that came up was not a good picture. It was a picture of a man accused of rape. Yep. And
No,
had been sentenced to 12 years in prison.
no way.
Yeah. I I was speechless, like, oh my god, I dated a rapist kind of thing.
The exact same guy?
I would have doubted it, but then there was a mugshot. Mugshots, of course it was him. It was him.
Lord of mercy. Yo, talk
Yep.
about the ancestors working in overdrive for you.
I
This is
dodged the bullet big
yo,
time.
big time. This is like lifetime time.
Yeah.
Because you sensed something wasn't right with the way that he treated you, and you wouldn't acknowledge that him being disrespectful for you to you was a big deal at that event.
No,
As far
no,
as you was
he was.
concerned, you were just meant to take what he was saying. I said, you disrespecting me. You don't talk to guys in front of me. Take it, woman, because this is what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do. That's the kind of language he
Mm.
seems to be coming across with. But you were like, no, I got more respect for
No,
myself. And which ties into your lesson number
absolutely.
2, which is don't tolerate nonsense.
Don't. If you
And
feel it's wrong, it is likely wrong. But get this, Tinto, get this, right?
mm,
I forget about, I read this and that's it. And then a friend of mine from way back in my school days
yeah,
um, got in touch with me and she says, do you know this dude? I said, yeah, I kind of dated him. She says,
mm,
well, he got in touch with me asking how I knew you a few years ago. And he was kind of, sweet talking to it. But bear in mind, she's in a different country altogether.
mm, mm.
He's been sweet talking and so on. And then a friend of hers told her about this case as well because it made some noise in the diaspora. You know, she's like,
Damn.
this guy actually got in touch with my friend to say, how did he know Halima? How do you know Halima? He's asking my friend, how do you know Halima?
That's
Like,
creepy,
oh, we
man.
know each other. So he's going through my friends to contact
Mm,
them to hook up with my friends on my Facebook.
that is freaking weird, man.
Creepy dude. Creepy.
You do yourself one elf of a favor, Halima.
Yep,
Honestly,
I did. I
hearing what eventually happened to him and the fact that he's now locked up for a good 12 years
Mm,
is really scary.
it
And
is.
honestly, we need to be thankful that you had insight and strength, not just insight, strength as well to say, nope, this really isn't for me. I'm out of here.
I have to say, that particular night when I stood up for myself was
Mm.
the first time I ever actually stood up physically for myself and said no.
You did very well.
Mm.
And I'm really hoping that people who are listening to this are encouraged by that if ever you felt you couldn't stand up for yourself, the day that you actually do it could be potentially the day that you save your own life as well, because heaven knows what this guy would have done if he felt that you had continued to disrespect him, because he's clearly
Mm.
not afraid to go and do terrible things to women, and that's why he's locked
No,
up now.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing this story, Halima. And thank you for making time. And
Thank you
those
for
who are,
having me.
yeah, no, it's been fantastic. And for those who are listening to this episode of the Feeling Station, 2 main lessons came out. The first one being that if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and walks like a duck, it probably is a duck.
Yep.
And, and more importantly, as we can tell with the way that the story ended, it's important for you not to ever tolerate nonsense. And, gather the strength to actually leave at that point if you can. Well,
Yeah.
you've been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and I look forward to catching you in next week's episode. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Yep, and cue the music.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Sati's andaro raini and chake zaini.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Sati's andaro raini and chake zaini.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Rudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.
Chiziro amai. Love is a fire.
Rudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.